Praises, honor, glory, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, God Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And we're gonna get right into it. We are here once again. We're gonna start off with the Book of Psalms, chapter 91. All right, as King David wrote, dealing with the deliverance, ultimately, which Psalms 91 links up with Revelation 18, which Lord willing we might go into that as well. All right, but it's all prophetic, mainly dealing with this time that we're in. Okay, that's why the scriptures refer to King David as a prophet as well. He was a king and a warrior, and he was also a prophet. Since a lot of those songs that he wrote, they were prophetic. Okay, some about Yahweh Shai, some about the end time destruction, some about the deliverance, some about the elect. All right, so let's start with the book of Psalms, chapter 91, because ultimately, what's getting ready to happen, as you see all these tensions going on, geopolitically, is not all by coincidence. As a matter of fact, the levels at which these tensions have risen to now is much higher than it's ever really been. Okay, and that's why a lot of these people that are studying not only the economy but also these geopolitics, all right, they're worried about there being a third world war with the whole situation with Ukraine. They're saying one wrong move and you can already trigger World War III because they know Russia has the means and Russia has the intention. Now you got North Korea getting all excited over there, China. So the alliances, all right, the alliances are being formed. The lines have been drawn, or the lines have been drawn in the sand already. So let's start off with the book of Psalm 91.
This is Psalm 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Right. So he that dwells in the secret place of the Most High. Right. And that's what we're doing now. By coming into this knowledge. Matter of fact, let's get real quick the book of Proverbs, chapter 18, verse 10. Okay. And that involves, or that starts with the name Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So what a lot of people are doing, these other groups, they're not only, they're not only have they left from the secret place of the Most High, if they were there to begin with, but they're also dragging souls away. So what's going to happen to them? They're going to be out there exposed. Like when you take Job, for example, the scriptures say that Job was a righteous man that eschewed evil. And then when Satan was talking with the Most High about Job, he said, yeah, but Job he's going to honor you because you got a hedge of protection over him. So what hedge of protection was Satan talking about? The hedge that pretty much protected Job from these demons, from them messes. See, when you befall, or when misfortune befalls you, it's not really just coincidence. That's them demons messing with you. There's certain days when nothing is going your way. You wake up and the first thing you do is you hit your toe against the side of your bed. Now you're already pissed off. You're like, shit. Then you fall back onto your bed. Then you get back up. Meanwhile, your alarm, you set your alarm for 6 a.m., but that's just at 6 p.m. So now you're already late. And then you're trying to catch a bus. It ain't working. You can't find your keys. Everything is just going wrong. Then you finally make it to work. You all pissed off. And they assign you to a floor that you hate. They tell you doing this today. I mean, that's them demons messing with you. Okay? So likewise, you notice that when the Lord took that hedge back from Job and said, okay, you can have, matter of fact, we're going to go there after Proverbs. When the Lord took that hedge back and said, all right, you can touch him, but you can't kill him. All those riches and all those things that were going well for Job, it all turned around. His health, right? He developed those boils and so on and so forth, which goes to show you those infirmities. Those are all demons that plague you. Okay, so his health, his possessions, his children, all of those things. The Lord, when He took away that hedge of protection, Satan and these other demons had access to be able to interfere with Job's life on that level. So it goes to show you the importance of being under the protection of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, of having that hedge. And when you don't reverence the name, which we're about to go into, let's get that real quick in Proverbs here.
This is Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower.
What's the name of the Lord? The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means He is, or He to be, or He exists. And the name of His Son is Yahweh Shai. So the name of the Lord, Yahweh, Bahasham, in the name of Yahweh Shai, is a what? Is a strong tower. right? It's a defensed city. It's a fortress. Go on.
The righteous runneth into it, and is safe.
So how do the righteous run into the name of the Lord? By praying to the name of the Lord, by having faith and believing in it, and by using it. So whenever, think of it like this, right? Whenever trouble comes upon you, you call upon the name of the Lord. That's like when somebody sees trouble coming, they run up into the tower. They run up into the fortress for protection. So it goes so far as to even in our dreams. Something is going on. I had a dream there was a zombie apocalypse, and I was in a mall somewhere, and I'm like, yo. So I ran into one of the changing rooms. One over there. I ran over there, and I was in there trying to hold the door together, and them zombies were literally right outside. And I'm like, I started calling upon the name of the Lord in the dream, right? And all of a sudden, I said, all right, fuck it. So I pushed open the door, ran through, and just jumped. I jumped. I forgot it was like a little terrace or something. I just jumped over that shit, and right before I hit the ground, I started flying. Okay, so the whole point is that we believe in the name of the Lord so much that even in our dreams, we call upon the name of the Lord. And most of your dreams, you don't really control. It's like watching a movie of yourself. Okay, so that's how the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run into it by using it in faith, and you're safe. And every time you call on the name of the Lord, you're safe. Which we're gonna get that as well in the Apocrypha. But now let's go to the Book of Job, and after that we're gonna go to Ecclesiasticus, the second chapter. We're gonna read that whole chapter, and then we're gonna come back to Psalm 91. So Job, you can read Job the first. Read Job 2. Start at 1. Yeah, second chapter, first verse.
This is Job 2:1.
Actually, slack it over. Job the first chapter starts at first.
This is Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job.
Right, a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job. Go on, and he wasn't an Edomite. Go on.
And that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil.
Yeah. So Job was a righteous man. He followed the ways of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and he stayed away from evil. He detested that. Go on.
And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen.
So Job was a very rich man. Okay, that's a lot of because remember in the ancient world, wealth was not determined by how many Benjamins you got, how many dollar bills you could pull out, how many stacks and racks. That's paper. Okay, that's paper. The only reason it has value is because of this make-believe fiat system. Okay, what gives value to a currency is what is backed by. When you look at a dollar is supposed to be a measurement. Okay, so when you deal with like for example, even in the scriptures, 50 shekels of gold, 50 talents of silver, these are measurements or weights of actual money. Gold and silver is the actual money, right? And a talent is a measurement of gold, or a shekel is a measurement of gold or silver. So that's how you dealt with so-called currency. Now in this society, they'll tell you here's $10, here's $20. $20 is supposed to be what? A currency, but it's supposed to measure what? It doesn't measure anything. Okay? Because they took it off the gold standard. So the whole point is here you got they'll show you some paper dollars and then you'll think you're rich. You're not really rich. You're not rich because with the second this economy crashes, the paper dollars is just paper. But if you had actual gold, that holds its value no matter what. So in the ancient world, your wealth, which I shouldn't even say in the ancient world, because in the real world, let me put it like that. In the real world, wealth is determined not by paper money. Okay, paper money are IOUs that were invented later on because it was too much to carry a whole bunch of coins and because money weighs. If you deal with gold and silver, it weighs a lot. So instead of carrying all that around, say, you know what, I'm gonna give you an IOU slip that says I owe you this amount. That's what I'm gonna carry around. And when you need it, you come to me. So that way they're able to store the money in one location and walk around with representations of money. Here, I owe you this. That means you can come back and get it whenever you need. And then you can give me some gold or give me some goods for barter, the barter system. So the real money is land, cattle, okay, slaves, servants. These are even children, all right, because they become the scripture tell you, wives and children. These are all possessions, but they're all a part of their household. Because the more children you have, the more wives you have, the more children you have. The more children you have, the wealthy you are if you raise them up in the right way. Because you have before your sons or your daughters, first off, if you have a daughter, okay, she served you. She served the house. So what somebody else would have to go and pay somebody to do, you got a son that could do it, right? He could be a shepherd. He could do this. He could do that. And you got the daughter that takes care of the house. She fetches the water. She does X, Y, and Z. And then when it comes time for her to be married, you would find out a good tutor, and then you would marry her onto them. And guess what? You would get a dowry. So they were all a part of your possession. They were all part of your wealth. And when you had sons, before they would work for you. So they were all part of your wealth. Like this guy, Laban and Jacob. Jacob made Laban even more rich. Okay, so that's how wealth is actually. That's what real wealth actually is. Today you put the think it's everything else but that. But anyway, it goes to show you that Job was a very rich man, a very wealthy man, because he had all these cattle, all this land, these children, these servants,
and 500 she asses,
and 500 she asses, so female donkeys,
and a very great household.
a very great household. Go on.
So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East.
So this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. Now, different historians, place Job's time period at different times, but it's probable that Job would have had to have lived prior to, the time period we know where you had the patriarchs and so on and so forth, maybe a little before that time. All right, because when you read the book of Job, you find out about how, for example, how they did the sacrifices and so on and so forth. There was no mention of the Levitical priesthood. There was no mention of any of those things. Now, for him to be one of the top men in the East, he would have definitely been written up or mentioned had he been contemporary with Jacob or so on and so forth, or even the 12 tribes, right? So it's probable he might have predated the 12 patriarchs, but regardless, that's not the point. Okay, go on.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them.
Yeah, so they went up in there. They had a nice party, nice little get together. Go on. Read that verse again. I think in the NLT it probably says it that way, right? Go on.
And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day.
Everyone his day. And I think in the NLT they translate that on their birthday. So, go on.
And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offering, according to the number of them all.
So after they had done their feasting, sanctified them, and what? He offered burnt offerings. Okay, so it still goes to show you, if he offered burnt offerings, the law had to have been there, because how would he know what a burnt offering is and how to do it? Because they had that law going all the way back to the time of Adam, and it was passed down orally. Go on. See, what you'll find out is a lot of the families of the East, prior to the Common Era, a lot of the families of the East, regardless of whether they were Shemites or Hamites or Japhites, majority of the Hamites and the Shemites, they all kind of kept the same laws, because they all came from the Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And Ham, Shem, and Japheth were sons of Noah, and Noah was a man of the Lord. So Noah knew those laws. So he taught it to his sons. So that's why when you read even in about Abraham, I think it was the Ahimelech, or I forgot the exact name of this pharaoh. Either it was a pharaoh or king of God. When he wanted to take Sarah, and Abraham said that Sarah was his sister, and then the Lord in the dream and said, "That's the man's wife. You touch him, I'm gonna violate." He was afraid, and he told Abraham, "Why you didn't tell me that was your wife? You almost made me commit adultery." Why was he afraid of committing adultery? Because they understood they had those laws. And that's why Abraham said, if they find out you my wife, they're going to kill me and then take me. Why wouldn't they just take her right away? Why would they have to kill him first? Because they understood the law of adultery. So at early stage, they all had a common law. Okay? It started to diverge over time. Now let's see if we could get to the part about singing, the sons of singing together.
So Job 2:1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves.
Oh, yeah, that's right, verse. Because it says in the second chapter, it says again. So that means that the first chapter you had it happen before. And that goes to show you that that's a reoccurring thing, right? Where the sons of God, which in this verse is talking about the angels. So there's it's recurring that periodically the angels will gather in the presence of the Lord and they will give their reports. Go on.
Job 1:6. Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
For the Lord. So what is they came to present themselves before the Lord? That, that word right there. That's Job 1. That's why you got to go into these words. See, when you go into these words, and they teach you this in middle school, elementary school, middle school, junior high, they teach you to an extent why it's important to understand the words you're reading. Yeah, they context clues, but you need to understand the definition of the word that you're reading. Get some synonyms. Synonyms help you understand something better. So maybe you're more familiar with the word surprise. You see the word that says astonished. What the hell is astonished? Oh, astonished means in a state of shock or unexpected. And then you look up some synonyms and they'll say surprise. Oh, okay, surprise. Oh, okay. So you may interchange the word surprise into the text you're reading for a better understanding. You know, and that gives you a better understanding of the verse that you're actually reading. And now you're like, oh, the next time you got a whole, oh, okay, it means that this person was surprised, astonished, they were surprised. So this is Job 1:6. Let me look at that word present. All right, it says here, after Zav, it says to place, set, stand, present, station oneself, present oneself, stand with someone, stand still. So pretty much what would normally come to mind about presenting yourself. You have to present yourself. Whoever you're presenting yourself to is likely someone in an authoritative figure, right?
And Satan came also among them.
So why does he come also among them? Because Satan is also a son of God. Guess what? Satan is a son of God. He's a left hand angel. So left hand angels are messengers on the left hand side. Right hand angels are messengers on the right hand side. They both have jobs. Okay, their jobs differ because of their purpose, what they were created to do, because of their nature. But they still have jobs to do. And the one that gives them those jobs is the Most High. So, of course, periodically, just like any CEO or any boss requires updates, what these angels, this day that we're reading of was when the angels came to present their updates. What have you been up? What have you been up? What projects you've been working on? Right. So sometimes they may have specific tasks that the Lord says, I need you to go do X, Y, and Z. For example, Angel Gabriel was sent to Joseph and Mary. Specifically, he was sent, for example, to Joseph in the book of I think it's Matthew. He told him, look, Lord told him, go to Joseph right now in the dream and go and tell him, look, get up and take your house shot and get him out of there. Get him up out of there right now. And then he went and did that. But guess what? The angel Gabriel, he also has a job that he does on a regular. When you read in the book of Daniel 12:1 in the NLT, when it talks about Michael the archangel, it says whose job it is to guard your nation. Okay, so they all have respective duties, and then the Lord can give them specific tasks to do. Guess what? Satan got a specific duty. He goes up and down in the earth tempting people. But he's also a man of a man. He's also a spirit of high command. So he got demons under him that he gives them orders on what to do. Now, when you read one example would be when he tempted Yahushai after Yahushai had fasted. Guess what? He had to go do that. That was his task. Stop whatever you're doing. The time is now. Go there and go tempt Yahushai. Okay. So they're going to present themselves before the Lord. This be, the Most High. This is what I've been up to. What I'm doing. This is what's going on here and there, and so on and so forth. What?
And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord,
So what you been up to? Right? What's coming out? Where you coming from? What's your update? Go on.
Then Satan answered the Lord,
Then Satan answered the Lord. Now hold up. Why ain't Satan pull up in there with his whole army? Because at this point, they'll tell you that oh, they ain't got kicked out. The dude got wings, but his wings ain't work. So he fell from the heavens. Oh, fell into the earth. He got a freaking miner crew and dug up into the middle of the earth, and then he developed this guy. It's gonna be my new place. It's gonna be hell. So why ain't Satan come up in there with a whole armada, pull out the spiritual shotguns and shit? Like, yeah, we didn't even know. He answered the Lord because Satan is under the Most High. Satan works for the Most High. He wouldn't be called the Most High if he didn't have jurisdiction and authority over everything.
and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
So Satan replied, well, I've been going all about the earth, walking up and down in it. So what is Satan doing? Is he just wake up every day, makes his coffee, and just takes a stroll? He takes a stroll from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the North Pole to the South Pole, from Africa to Egypt, and he goes all right around again, runs a couple marathons and shit. No. Satan is going about looking for whom he can devour, as the scripture tells you. Go on.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job?
So you going up and down, your job is to tempt, test, and prove my servants. Now I know that you ain't gonna get them, the ones that are really of the elect, but you damn sure gonna try. So the Lord said, "You seen Job? They say nothing to me about Job. What's up?" Lord, because see, Satan, when he sees them righteous men, they're a temptation for him. That's like him seeing candy, or that's like you being, you just came out the 3 days in the desert, no food, no water. You see a fresh cheeseburger with fries, fried chicken on the side, steak on the other corner, some nice cool drink. Even though these foods ain't really good, it's all right though. For example's sake, you seen all this, and it's right there in front of you. So you like, hell, you gonna jump on that. That's how Satan feels when he sees men of the Lord, like true men of the Lord. That's why the Lord told Peter that Satan desires to sift you. He desires. He has a urge, to sift your ass. It's like when you see a fine ass shorty that is not married, and the desire just kicks up within you. You're like, man, I want that. I'm the aggressive with it too. I'm gonna take that. So that's how the demons feel. That's why they always trying to get on you. You notice you be on a good streak, and that's when them demons want to come in. Try to throw demonic thoughts into your head. They try to get you to be weak, get tired, and all this. So that's how they feel. So the Lord's like, what's up? You see my servant Job? I know what you like. Go on.
That there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil.
Now I think there's a scripture, right, that says, so these three men were in it, ancient but only saved themselves. And I think it mentioned Noah, Job, and somebody else, maybe Daniel. I don't recall the exact names, but I think it mentioned Job. But,
Ezekiel 14 and 20, though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
Yeah, which goes to show you, number one, that it's not you that delivers the next person. You gotta focus on you, your own right. But notice it mentioned Noah, and they also mentioned Job, because in their generation, they were the perfect in their generation, right? And that's why I mentioned here about Job.
Job 1 and 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Does Job fear God for naught?
So what? He just serves you and fears you just because? Go on.
Hast not thou made an hedge about him
Go on.
and about his house?
So like we were reading over there in Proverbs 18, right? And back in Psalm 91, about the shadow of the Most High. So the Most High made a hedge about Job and his house. That's why he was so prosperous. So thinking to say here, well, I mean, of course, you bless the man, made him prosperous. Why would he bite the hand that feeds him? Go on.
And about all that he hath on every side, thou hast blessed the work of his hand, and his substance is increased in the land.
Which also goes to show you that when you're successful at something, that's because the Most High bless your hand. You know, you have certain people that are just very good at something. You know, it's just easy for them. And it's like, yo, I could do the same thing you're doing, but anytime you do it, it's always, abounding. That's the Most High that blesses people. What?
But put forth thine hand now, and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to thy face.
So why is Satan saying, well, put forth thine hand now? Why is not saying, oh, yeah, I see Job, I'm going to go touch him. He's basically requesting permission from the Lord because Satan is a part of the hand of the Lord, right? So he says, well, if you give permission, if you put forth your hand and touch him, meaning you take away that shield, take away that head, and you allow me to go and do what I got to do to Job, because I can't touch Job. You know, it's like once again going back to the example, right? See the badass shorty, you're like, oh my God, I want to be aggressive with that. But then you look down and you see a ring on her finger. That's that hedge about her. See, the marriage is a hedge of protection for a woman in a righteous society. The second you see a woman, you see that ring, boom, it's like a kryptonite. It's like it just pushes you back. You turn back around and you keep on going, right? So that's what it was like saying. He's like, well, I mean, yeah, I see Joe, but I can't touch him. Yeah, Shorty fine as hell, but she married. That's it. End of story. So he's saying, well, right? Well, if you ain't have that hedge of protection, you put forth your hand now, and you take away that protection from Job, then we can talk. Then we can see if he's really going to serve you.
And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power.
What's happening right there? The Lord is giving Satan permission to go and do what he got to do. Why does Satan need the question for the Christian? Why does Satan need for his permission? Ask him about Job. You know what they're going to tell you? This is before Satan got out of heaven. He was still good at shit. And they're gonna chat dance all around it. But the whole point is, Satan has to get permission from the Most High to go and touch Job. So keep in mind, whenever you get tempted or you start going the demons message, understand that the Most High is the one that gives that power to do that. Or else they can't touch you. That's why we put our faith and trust in the Most High. The demons don't have power over the Most High. And we got direct access through Yahushua. So the second is like when you got a younger sibling, and you accidentally hit them, and they open their mouth and they about to start crying. The second they start crying, your mama bear gonna come in there. Your mom or your pop's gonna come in there. So the second, calm down, yeah, play the game. I got some candy. You try to do everything in your power to make sure they shut the hell up and they don't scream, because when your parents come in there, it's you and it's your younger sibling. They're gonna look at you like, what the hell did you do? And he go, oh, he hit me. Oh my God, that's the end of your life, right? So that's what the demons are like. The second you call upon the Lord, you best, they disappear. They're gone. Unless the Lord gave them actual specific, instructions stated. Yeah, real quick. First Chronicles 21:1. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David over Israel. It just laying back off the brother's point that Satan walking up and down on the earth is him provoking, testing. So even as great as a man as David was, he was susceptible to Satan provoking. This is one of the couple times when he went off. It was Bathsheba, then with Uriah the Hittite and Bathsheba, his wife, adultery. It was this time, and I think it was another time. But to go off your point, that's what Satan does. Satan stood up against Israel. How did he do it? But he went to the head. He went to the leader. I think the scripture says, fight the shepherd and the sheep of the cattle, which I think is really dealing with how it died, but it applies to this. as the manner of the leader is for the rest of the city. So yeah, that's a good step. Now let's go back. We got so pretty much Satan went up in there. He got permission. The Lord said, "Yeah, all right, cool." So this is why we'll say like there was a bet. There was a contest where the Lord said, "Let's find out if Job is really about it. If you telling me you're only doing this because I got the head of protection over, I'm telling you that's not the case. So go on ahead, do what you got to do. Go on." But the Lord also set boundaries. And you can learn from that. Sometimes you go through things, but there's a limit. There's a scripture. I forgot the scripture said. Is that First Corinthians 13 or so? It talks about how we're going to be put through temptation, but the Most High is not going to put you through any more than you can handle. First Corinthians 10 and 13, it says, "There have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man." Right. So you ain't gonna be tempted to do something that's not normal. That's just out of the ordinary. All the temptations you don't go through is nothing new on the earth. These are things that we all go through, put it like that. Whether it's finances, whether it's about women, whether it's about family, whether it's about evil thoughts, these are all things that we all go through. One. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able. So the Most High is faithful, and He will not suffer you tempted above your able. If the Most High was a professor and you were a student in his class, he's not going to give you a test that has questions on there that he hasn't taught you what it is. That's how the test the Most High gives you are. He knows that I taught you from question 1 to question 10. I've covered that in class, so it's fair game. I'm not going to put a question on the test that you have never seen before and expect you to pass it. That's why it says the Most High speaks. The goal is not well, unless he wanted you to build a test, then he would do that. But that's not the goal, right? So now let's go back to the book of but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that he may be able to bear it. Go. So with the temptation will make a way for you to escape. You always got to look for that escape route. There's always an escape route. Whenever you're tempted, there's a temptation, but there's a way out of the temptation. Let's go back to
Job 1 and 12. And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, all that he hath is in thy power, and only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord.
And so basically, everything that Job has, his family, his kids, his wife, his cattle, his possession, all of that, you got power over it now. You can mess with it now, but you can't touch him. Now let's jump to the second chapter.
Job 2 and 1. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord.
Again, so now there was another day. So there had to have been some time passed between this first account and this one. Go on.
And Satan came also among them to present himself for the Lord. And the Lord said unto Satan, From whence comest thou?
What's going on? That is something. What?
And Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it.
My God.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth?
So pretty much it's another account of what we just read in the first chapter. We'll keep going. Read through it. You might have said something different.
A perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity, although thou movest me against him.
Okay. So it is not just another account of the first thing. This is a different account. Because in the first account, it said here that Satan said, yeah, skin for skin, yeah, but if you put forth your hand now and touch him and his possession, guess what? He's gonna turn on you. So the Lord said, all right, good, you got power now, go ahead. And then another time comes, the Lord does a company-wide meeting, all the angels come up, Satan comes up, Lord says, stop. Oh, I'm just doing my job, going up and down, doing my thing. So what's up with Job? What's the status of things? Have you seen that? Go on, read that part again.
Hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil, and still he holdeth fast his integrity,
Hear that? Hold it fast his integrity. Go on.
although thou movest me against him.
So what is the Lord talking about? Remember, Satan said, "Put forth your hand now and touch him, and see if he's still gonna honor you." And the Lord said, "Well, you told me to do it. I gave you power over him, and now you see he's still holding fast." So something must have been going on between that first account and the second account. Job must have been going through some stuff, but he was still maintaining his integrity. But that's gonna come after. Huh?
To destroy him without cause.
Because he's saying, look, honestly, and this goes to show you the power of the Most High, right? He said, I said Job was a righteous and upright individual. I said that he is people when he does all that. But I said that he is doing evil and does all that, right? He does all those good things. Now, Job ain't going to commit no crazy ass sin, but I'm out here. I gave you the power to go and cause hell on him. So you moving me against him without cause, right? It's not like he went and committed adultery or he went and committed murder, and I'm like, all right, put some hell on his ass. But even still, and that's why Job was so messed up because he's like, yo, I know damn well I ain't done it, man. It's like being on a good streak with the Most High, and all of a sudden you just start catching hell. And you wondering, time out, where did I? Just yesterday we were cool. Where did I go wrong? Go on.
And Satan answered the Lord and said, skin for skin, yeah, all that a man have will he give for his life. But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh.
So let's go back to the first account. See, there's some subtle differences between the two accounts. Go back to the first account and read what Satan told the Lord when the Lord said, "Have you seen my servant Job?" Probably maybe around nine verses.
Job 1 and 9. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, though Job fear God from naught,
So this because what?
has not thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he have on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now.
So what was the first thing Satan said during the first talk about Job? He said, "Okay, move forth your hand
And touch all that he hath,
and touch all that he has, his possessions." Right? Go on.
and he will curse thee to thy face.
The thing says his cattle, his oxen, his all those things, he's gonna turn on you. And what did the Most High say? Go on.
And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power.
All that he has is thy power. You have power over everything that he owns, his cattle, all those things. Go on.
Only upon himself put not forth thine hand.
Only upon himself. Don't put forth your hand. Meaning, you can touch everything he has, but don't touch him. You can't plague him. You can't hurt him. You can't do none of that stuff to him. So that was the permission the Lord gave Satan the first time around. Now, when you go into the second account, listen to what the dialogue is now. Let's go back to what you were reading. Second chapter, yeah. About what Satan was saying to the Lord.
Job 2 and 4. And Satan answered the Lord and
So at this point, the Lord said, I told you about Job. Even though you moved me against him without cause, he's still good. So what does Satan say? Go on.
and said, skin for skin, yeah, all that a man hath will he give for his life.
Yeah. All that a man has, he gives for his life. So a man is going to value his life more than his possession. Go on.
But put forth thine hand now and touch his bone and his flesh.
See? Because the first time around, the Lord said, don't touch him. You can touch his possession. But Satan came back and said, yeah, but that's it. Possessions come and go. It's like money. Money comes and go. You lose money, you gain money. That's not enough to get him to turn against you. Give me permission to go and plague his body. Yeah, then we're gonna see what Job is really made of. Go on.
And he will curse thee to thy face.
Go on.
And the Lord said unto Satan, Behold, he is in thine hand, but save his life.
The Lord said, okay, you want to go that route. All right. So now you got permission to go and plague him, but you can't kill him. Okay? Go on.
So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils, the sole of his foot unto his crown.
Okay. Now, I think you mentioned that earlier. Between the first chapter and the second chapter, that where the servant, the oxen escaped and the children died and all that. And then after the second chapter, so he gets the spoils and stuff, right? So, Khan, yeah, that's what you're saying. So the whole account here is that the Lord makes a bet with Satan. The Lord says you got permission over his property and everything he owns. Then he goes, he kills those children, makes ruins those cattle and his possession and all those things all in one day. And then him and the Lord meet again. Then the Lord says, now what? What you got to say for yourself? He said, yeah. But that's the stuff though. You know, you ain't touch him though. If you touch him, he's gonna turn on you. So then the Lord said, okay, you got permission over his body, but you can't kill him. Then when you read after this in the second chapter going on, that's when Satan goes and gives Job all those oils and shit. His wife starts talking shit, all these things. And even still, Job maintained his integrity. Okay? So all that to say, going back to the point where we came from, which is about dwelling in the secret places of the Most High, under the protection of the Most High. Okay, as Job was. Job was under the protection of the Most High, and saying with his agreement with the Most High had to pull back that protection in order for Satan to have the ability to even touch any of the possessions of Job. And when we read in the book of Psalms, it'll tell you that if you trust in the Most High, no evil shall come nigh thy habitation. So that's you, those that are around you. And it goes right there. The balance of because those children didn't get a say in the matter. The Most High ain't say, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You can't touch his children. You know, what they got to do with this? No. They were counted as Job's possession. Damn. So now let's go back to the book of Proverbs and then back to Psalm 91.
Proverbs 18 and 10. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. The righteous runneth into it and is safe.
Right. So going back to what we're saying, the name of the Lord is like a fortress, a defense city. And the righteous run into it. How do you run into it? By using the name of the Lord, calling upon the name of the Lord in faith. And every time you do that, you're safe. Oh, okay. Let's go. Ecclesiastes second chapter. Now we're dealing with the fact that anybody that if you just call upon the name of the Lord and you're one of his chosen, one of his elect, he decides to have mercy upon you, you're gonna be taken care of. Okay? Says verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not hate in time of trouble. Set thy heart aright, meaning set your mind right and constantly endure. When you come to serve the Lord, you need to set your mind right and constantly endure and don't make haste in time of trouble. Meaning, the second sign bad happens to you, you lose your mind, jumping all over the place. There you go. Job is a perfect example. Right? Sometimes you're not gonna understand why it's so way. You're gonna be wondering, damn, Lord, what did I do? I've been trying to serve you the best way I can, and I'm just catching up. How am I the right thing? It's a part of setting your mind right and preparing for those things. My child, if you are going to serve the Lord, Once you are caught upon, now that's not, doesn't mean that the second the joint hits you, you start laughing, you start smiling. You're a big smile on your face. What happened? I just got stung by a bee. So why are you laughing? I'm taking a chair, you know. You got to take a chair. House burned down. You party, you got to take a chair. That's not what it's talking about. But what it means is don't go into depression because you start catching hell. Understand that there's a reason why that's happening. Now, one example is when, and this is really dealing with suffering for righteousness' sake. This doesn't mean go do something stupid, go catch hell, and then you feel, oh, you know what, it's all gonna end well for me anyway. No, no, no. That's a consequence. There's a difference. There's a difference between a consequence and a test or a temptation. So with the apostles, when they got beat for Yahweh Shai's name's sake, they took a chance. They rejoiced because they were counted worthy to suffer for Yahweh Shai's.
Cheerfully. One of them says readily and willingly. When you read the ENT, verse 4 says, accept whatever happens to you, fit in self-humiliation, be patient.
Because you got to ultimately, you got to have a mind of being willing to do anything for the kingdom's sake, for Yahweh Shai. That's when the scriptures say that the Most High, the true worshipers of the Most High, you got to worship Him in spirit and in truth. That's what you're talking about. Okay, there's a certain attitude, a certain energy that you're gonna be in if you really are being elect. That's what's gonna help you go into the end. But you don't just take gold as it is. You find gold in the ground, dirt, whatever the case is, but they go through a purification process because typically being in the earth for so long, you have to develop all this what they call impurity, and they have to purge the impurities out of it to bring out the true value of the gold, and that is done by fire. Okay, so you may be gold, but it doesn't stop at why is the Most High didn't just bring you to the truth and then you get the kingdom right away. Right now we're in the furnace, right? The Lord is bringing us through the fire, the third part. He's bringing us through the fire, purging out our impurities, being righteous day by day until the return of Yahweh. See, when Yahweh returns, when we see him, it's gonna be like that gold seeing the face of the goldsmith looking up in there. All right, now it's good. Then he pulls it out the fire. So what Yahweh is going through, he's gonna come, and when we get beamed up, that's when he pulls us out the fire. You guys are good, and that's why the elect are gonna shed those mortal bodies, and in the chariots they're gonna have those new bodies. They're gonna be their purified state. What Romans 5:3. Romans 5:3, and not only so, but we glory in tribulation also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience. Tribulation working patience. So we're gonna go through tribulation. I want to actually get the word. But we're gonna go through things on the journey to the kingdom. Second Ezra 7 mentioned that it's like a fire on one side and a waters on the other side, and only one man can go at the time because everything has to work out his own salvation. So, but when you go through tribulation, you become it, patient. So you become more patient, you are able to endure more. So if I can get the word there for patience, it says in the Greek, it says hypomone, and it says steadfastness, constancy, endurance. In the New Testament, the characteristic of a man who is not swerved from his deliberate purpose in his loyalty to faith and piety by even the greatest trials and suffering. Now, the word expiation, atonement, expiate
the root is X and then Yat, which connects to piety, which is basically like service to the Lord and sticking to the knowledge and wisdom and understanding, loyal to the truth. And piety by even the greatest trials and suffering, patiently and steadfastly. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Patient we are, if we become more hardened to the suffering, to where you already expect suffering to happen, you already expect obstacles to come up, so you're being mentally prepared for the greatest trials, which is the Jacob truth. Because in patience, experience hope. And in NLT, it says, "And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation." Because now you've gone through a certain amount of things. Now you see, all right, the Lord brought me. I've been through this, I've been through that, I've been through something left me. So I lost my house, I might have lost this, that, and the third. All these different trials and tribulations. They have gone through affliction, thorns, flesh, and overcame. Like, man, if the Lord was with me for that, and the Lord is going to be with me for the things ahead. That's like last verse it says, "And hope maketh not ashamed, because the love of the Most High is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit, which is given unto us." Right. So the hope that we have is not going to be disappointed. The hope that we have is going to be fulfilled when Yahweh Shai comes back. The Lord is going to be enduring. And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. Of the righteous, that says righteous person, righteous person makes many trouble. That's God.
Yeah, to speak up a bit, I want to see if it picks up. Psalm 34:19. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them out of them all. All right. Can you hear?
It's real low. It's real low. Can you hear me? It's real low. Can you hear me?
No. Yeah, they got audio playing on here. They got audio playing on here in the background. Oh, I can hear it.
Yeah, it's real low.
Once. Now, find out.
There you go.
You hear now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You hear us now? All right, let
Yeah,
me see if we can
con.
hear you now. Turn that volume up. All right. All right. Say something?
Say something.
Hmm. Hold on. There you go. All right. Say something?
Something.
There you go. There you go. Better,
That's it.
better, better. And
Yeah.
for those on the comment board, Salaki, just let us know if the audio does anything. If it doesn't sound clear or whatever, just let us know right away so we could check it. Esau technology sometimes is good, sometimes it's bad, you know? All right.
Con,
There you go.
con.
So I'll just bring back that next point. Psalm 34:19. Of course, it says, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivereth him out of them all." And when you read in the NLT, it says, "The righteous person faces many troubles, but the Lord comes to the rescue each time." So
David had that experience that, look, I've been through experiences with King Saul, with the Philistines, all these different nations. The Lord always came through at the at the right time.
Add as well. The word for character, right? In Romans 5:4, it says here, dokime, and it says proving, trial, approved, tried character, a proof, a specimen of tried worth. So just like if you have a boss at a job and he has certain employees and he knows, listen, I'm gonna set him to do this task because he's trustworthy. He's accomplished certain things that I set him to do. He did it in a timely fashion and he did it the right way. So if you have a boss that has those type of employees, those are tried employees, those are tried specimens to him. And now we working for the King of the universe. So he's gonna set up the men that he feels like that he knows and understands is gonna get the job done. You know, and that's what part of our character being tried. It has to happen. So when we go through these things, don't think it's strange or think like, why is this happening to me? I'm always catching the most hell. That's all a part of this game. That's part of counting the cost of what we are part of, man, of being in the faith, of being in the truth. We're gonna go through these things, guys.
I think that's 1 Peter 4:12. The love thinking not strange concerning the fiery trial that try you.
That's like we read earlier. Because we ain't gonna be. We didn't read that specific one, but there was another one from that. Basically, the Lord is not going to put some hell on you that you ain't never seen before. You know, here it is. The Lord is like, a meteor is going to hit your house in 5 minutes. Find out a way to get. I don't know. Find a way. You know, have faith. Most I ain't gonna tell you that, right? He ain't gonna tell you go run up and down Mount Everest 3 times and then have faith. You're gonna be all right. He ain't gonna tell you that. Okay, it's gonna be something that's common to men that we're gonna go through.
1 Corinthians 10:13.
That's we read that. That's the one I was talking about. Yep. So yeah. Now let's go. Was it on that? Okay. So now let's jump to the 10th verse. So right.
All right, jumping to verse 10, Sirach chapter 2, verse 10. It says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken?
Right. So going back to the point, as we jump from Psalm 91, dealing with the Lord delivering us, you being in the secret place of the Most High, right? Then we went to Proverbs 18:10 about the righteous running into the name of the Lord and being safe. So when you look at the generations of old, all those that trusted in the name of the Lord, that ran into the name of the Lord, they were all safe. Okay. So now let's go to the book of back to the book of Psalms 91.
Verse 1.
Verse 1.
Psalm 91:1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty.
Right, you're going to abide under the protection, right? As the Psalm Isaiah 32:2 talks about a man being as an hiding place, okay, as a great rock in a weary land. So that shadow of the Most High representing the protection. Okay, go on.
I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust.
Right. So the Lord is our refuge, our fortress, as we just read in Proverbs 18:10. So we put our trust in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, not in a Hebrew defense unit, not in carnality, not in guns, not in weapons, all right, not in women, not in men, not in princes, but in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Go on. And let's hold Psalm 124. Go through that whole chapter.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
Right. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. So who's the fowler? The fowler is Esau. Fowler is somebody that catches birds. Okay. So the ultimate fowler is Esau, and the snare of the fowler is ultimately going to be those missiles, that destruction. And how do we know that? Because the next part of this sentence is going to be another way of saying the same thing. Go on.
And from the noisome pestilence.
And from the noise and pestilence. Okay, so what's that noise and pestilence? Those missiles. When you read, and let's also hold Zechariah 14:12, because a pestilence is a plague. It's also a plague. So now let's get Zechariah 14:12, and then after that we're gonna get Psalms 124, and you can start at the top on that one. So the Most High is going to deliver us as what's that? A bird escaped from the what now? Deliver us from the fowler.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
Deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. So we're gonna be delivered up out of here. And it's spiritual that he uses the example of a bird. Well, we will get to that in song. Okay?
Yeah, so I have that word for noisome.
Yes,
The
beautiful.
word there is, I believe it's hawa.
Destruction?
Yep, it says chasm, figure of destruction, engulfing ruin, destruction, calamity. And when you think about engulfing something that's completely going to take over the whole place, which is what the fire is going to do, that's going to completely engulf the whole land of America.
Yep. That's also in Joel the 2nd chapter. We can hold that. Joel the 2nd chapter, yeah. What you got? Zechariah? Let's get that. 14 and 12.
Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem.
See, this is why the scriptures liken the scriptures onto a song. Because we all hitting different notes, right? We hitting different verses, we hitting different notes. So you get one over there, you know, like the guy, whatever, that's it. So he got the thing, you know, he right there, then right there, then right there. Yeah, hey, whatever his name is. So he's telling him, how you go, now you go, now you jump in, now you get the high pitch over there, now you hit the boom, the drum hits. So let's get that, Zechariah, and guess what? As he does each and every one of that, the song sounds better. It becomes complete. So when we bring out a verse and we're explaining it, we got to say, hit that, hit that, hit that. And then it brings more understanding to the verse. Oh, the noisome pestilence is actually talking about the missiles. Well, how is that? Oh, let's find out.
You know what it says? Their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes.
Now notice it said, bro, ain't no leaves on the ground, bro. Damn. This guy's a straight demon, bro. There's no leaves on the ground. Just air blowing the concrete. Anyway, you notice it says, this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord is going to smite all those that have fought against Jerusalem. So a pestilence is a plague, and it is going to describe what this plague is going to do. So the missiles are also a form of a plague. And it says their flesh is going to consume, his flesh is going to consume away while he's standing there trying to blow that damn concrete. They'll consume away while they stand upon their feet. Go on.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. Now, on a physical sense, what's going to cause that to happen? Malachi 4:1, the fire from the nuclear missiles. Because wherever you are, when the missiles hit ground zero and that flame expands outward, it's going to burn everything. Like we read about engulfing. It's going to engulf the whole land in fire. So that was it on that.
I think Isaiah 14 talks about sleeping with the beast of destruction. When you sleep something, you want to make sure you get every single speck. You're not missing a single dirt because you want to thoroughly clean the whole thing.
Right. And when you're done, all that thing is gone. So you got Psalms? And get that. Now, before you read that, let's read this again. Psalms 91, what's that, verse 3? All right, let's read that again.
Psalms 91:3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler.
Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. Who's going to do that? The Most High is going to do that. Go on.
And from the noisome pestilence.
And from the noise and pestilence. So now let's get that. Psalms 124:7.
Psalms 124:7. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers.
Right. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowler. So how is our soul escaped? The Most High delivers us. Right? And like I was saying, it's spiritual that it likens the destruction onto the snare and us being delivered as birds. Because really, what's the Lord going to do? He's going to beam us up. So he's going to literally take us up into the air. As when if a bird got delivered from a snare of a fowler, what's it going to do? It's going to fly straight up. So now let's jump. Wait, that was on that verse? A little bit. Okay.
The snare is broken and we are escaped.
The snare is broken and we are escaped. Who's going to break it? Not the Hebrew Defense Unit. Yahweh Shai is going to break it. So now let's jump to verse 1.
Psalms 124:1. A song of the degrees of David. If it had not been Yahweh who was on our side, now may Israel say, if it had not been Yahweh who was on our side, when men rose up against us.
Not the Hebrew Defense Unit, but Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right? Go on.
Then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us.
Right. So when the enemy came up against us, we would have been done. We would have been toast. Because ultimately, guess what? We're right now, we're in our weakest form. It doesn't matter if you gathered all Israelites together. You can't even defeat the freaking North Korean army. You can't defeat none of them. Okay? Go on.
Then the waters had overwhelmed us.
Which the waters represent the army. Okay? Now, when you go to Revelation 12, it speaks about how the dragon cast a flood out of her mouth after the woman, and then the earth helped the woman, right? So that flood, we know, was first off, the Roman Empire did not do no water bending and spit out some Naruto shit, some floods out their mouth, but the floods represented the armies. Okay, so the waters in here also represent those armies, or really the form of calamity, in whatever form it may take. Go on.
The stream had gone over our soul.
It's just another way of saying the same thing, meaning we would have drowned in that adversity if it wasn't for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Go on.
And the proud waters had gone over our soul.
And that word proud goes into insolent or boiling. And then it tells you in 2nd Ezra 16 that the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you.
In the NLT it says the raging waters.
The raging waters, yep.
Blessed be Yahweh, who have not given us as a prey to their teeth.
And also in Revelation 17, it describes the waters as peoples, kindreds, multitudes, and tongues. So you're going to have the raging waters, which is going to be led by Esau, Revelation 12 and 12. And then Revelation 12 and I think 17, it talks about how the dragon was wroth and went to make war with the remnant of the woman's seed.
I got a quick precept to back you up.
You said what?
I got a quick precept. What you guys are talking about, the raging waters. All right, there's a book of Revelation, chapter 12, and let's start off at verse 15. It says, "And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood." Okay, so that's another form of Esau using his military to come against Israel back then during the time of 70 AD. But this time it's going to happen again. Let's get that real quick. There's a book of Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19. It says, "So shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood," once again, raging waters, right? The spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. So the Hebrew defense unit that is actually going to be the defense of the elect. It tells you that in Daniel the 12th chapter. All right, that's how the elect are going to be defended. It's not by man or by regular people coming together who have no idea what the hell is going on to come and fight against Esau and his minions. For all we know, the HDU is set up by Esau. They're the ones that come up with units and agents and agencies and shit like that. So we could clearly see that it's a agent shit. All right. But those who believe on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua were waiting on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua's salvation and deliverance. Okay. Psalms the 27th chapter, King David said what? "The Lord is my strength and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" Okay. Salvation. Once again, that's the key. Who's going to be the one to do the deliverance? Yahushua, he the deliverer. Okay, not no Hebrew defense unit, because guess what? Hebrew defense units, Esau's going to plow right through them niggas, man. Whoever's going to be there as a stand guard or whatever, they're going to plow right through you too, nigga. All right? So that's what's coming. You got it.
Slocky, this guy's still blowing the damn shit. But yeah, Slocky, that's keep going on what you got, Oh, you can finish doing this. Yeah.
Psalm 124, verse 8. Our help is from the Lord who made heaven and earth.
Right. Our help is from the Lord who made heaven and earth. Okay, and that's Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So that's how we're going to get delivered out of the hand of all of our adversaries. It's going to be through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Not of our own selves. If it was of our own selves, we wouldn't be in this situation. Right now, we're waiting on deliverance. We can't do anything for ourselves right now. The best thing we can do is to appeal to the one that can do something for us. Yeah, that was it on that chapter? Yeah. All right, so we're good on that. Let's go back to Psalms 91.
Psalms 91 and 4. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust.
Right, which is metaphorical for protection. Okay, he's gonna protect you. Like if you look at a chicken, that has little chicks around it, whenever there's a threat or anything of that sort, a chicken, if it wants to get defensive, you gotta watch out when that mother hen spreads her wings open. Because when she spreads her wings open, she's going into attack mode. Literally. She gonna run after your ass like some Naruto shit. She gonna come root with them tiny ass feet. And next thing you know, this shit might peck your eye out. So chickens are not stupid. And I know this because when we were raised, we had them chickens. You mess around and try to touch that chick, and that she does the woo. Your ass is done. And she'll jump up and all that shit. But she would cover the chicks with her wings. She would open up her wings and used to cover her chicks, and that's how she would protect them. So it's metaphorical, but representing the Lord is going to protect you by taking you under His wing. That's like even the saying that they use today that I took such and such under my wing. So they were under my protection now. Go on.
His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
So the truth, which what we have now is the truth, is what shields us from everything in this world, from the fiery darts, all right, of Satan. Whether it's other philosophies, whether it's Esau's tactics that he used to try and get you, whatever the case is, this truth is what shields us from it. Because through this truth, we've gained a new level of wisdom. We move differently, and we stay out of trouble. Okay, and the Lord delivers us, those that are sincerely calling upon Him. It tells you that the prayers of the righteous pierce through the clouds, but the prayers of the wicked are an abomination. They're like smoke in the Lord's nose.
Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Which is also going into those missiles. Okay, and it's described as a arrow because that's what the missiles look like. Now, the terror by night doesn't mean that it's actually going to be nighttime, but it's going to be Esau's night because it's going to be our day, meaning it's going to be pretty much right at the collapse of his kingdom. The same thing about the arrow that flies by day. It's talking about those nuclear missiles. But why are we not going to be afraid? Because the Lord is going to deliver us. Go on.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness,
Which we just described, going back to Zechariah 14. Same thing, the missiles. Go on.
nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
So once again, the destruction that wasteth at noonday, it doesn't mean it's going to be 12 o'clock noon when the destruction hits. But noonday meaning it's going to be at the, because what is noonday? Noonday is when the sun is at its peak, right? Wherever you at, from when it rises in the east, wherever it's at, is at its peak. So noonday is when Esau's kingdom is at the zenith or at its high point. That's when the Lord is going to bring him down, pursuant to Job the 20th chapter.
Got it. Zechariah 1:27. Ye have not as it were forsaken me, but your own selves, saith the Lord. Thus saith the Almighty Lord, have I not prayed you as a father his sons, as a mother her daughters, and a nurse her young babes, that ye would be my people, and I should be your God, that ye would be my children, and I should be your father? I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. Mention. But now, what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out from my face. So the Heavenly Father is offering that protection as a mother hen offers her. You know, I heard an idiot break it down and say, well, that proves that the Most High is a woman. Oh, because he break it down like that just because it's a parable, dummy. Anyways, you know, we know that what it's talking about, like as the protection that a mother hen offers to her chicks, is just how the Heavenly Father wants to protect us, you know, spread his wings over us to protect us. And I believe Yahweh Shai had basically quoted that, right? Yeah. That shows you that the Apocrypha is a part of the scriptures, man.
Yeah. But see, dudes like that, they ain't never going to touch on Exodus, right? The Lord is a man of war. Why did the Yahweh Shai say, my meat is to do the will of him that sent me? Why did he refer to his father? He says father, right? They ain't never, see, there's going to be 99 precepts that deal with the Most High being a man. This dude going to jump to a parable about a chicken, a mother hen, and say, that's the proof right there. The proof is in the pudding. That's the Most High as a woman. And they're going to ignore all 99 precepts. Damn. All right. That was a good precept. You got it.
Psalms 91:7. 8,000.
So really, niggas got to be the worst creation since existence. Because in every generation, they persist. And they get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So now, niggas are a fusion of Esau and wicked Israelites. Like that's where they at right now. They're just a new creation on the earth, and it's just unreasonable. You cannot deal with a nigga straight up and down.
It's just like Frieza. You know, he had the powers at first, and then he became Gold Frieza.
Yep.
That's like the old freezer is like the wilderness Jakes that was just bucking up. They're just being wicked just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
But you can't even blame that on the heathens. We was just in the wilderness experiencing miracles. What was the excuse to go off? So now they got them high. They got Esau gave them powers to be even more wicked. You know, so they bounced back, and it's worse than ever. Like imagine the frustration that Aaron and Moses was dealing with on a constant basis. You know, it wasn't like we just strolled into the promised land and it was just an easy walk. It was so wearisome that you know I believe there's scriptures where Moses asked the Lord to take his lights out. You know, basically to put me out. I don't want to deal with this anymore. That's how frustrated Israel can be. And this is the worst batch of niggas ever, man. It's only going to get worse. But this is the comfort. We know there's going to be a judgment now in this generation for what they do.
Right. Yeah, they done mutated. Yeah, they got different variants like this the CV. And that's how these niggas they got different. Hey, now the IUIC talking about you can't hate Esau. Hell is real. You can't have multiple women. You can't hate Edomites. I mean, what else that? The new moon is the full moon. So they just keep coming out with new variants. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
that's why the scripture says evil men shall wax worse and worse, man.
that's it.
All right, this is showing you that these niggas are evil. All right, you can't hate Esau. So the Most High can hate Esau, but we can't hate Esau. All right, bro.
Gotta love him. Gotta love him. He's your brother. He's your brother. You can't hate your brother. You gotta love your brother. He feeds you. He gives you everything you need. So you gotta love him. And even if he puts taxes on your ass and he bombs your ass, you still gotta love him.
Hey, listen, man. Look, you got Klaus Schwab. He got some plans for a lot of you niggas that love Edomites. All right.
But you gotta
So
love him though.
Klaus
You
Schwab
gotta
is
love
ready to go. He's ready to go. He's saying that the nigga is saying that water is not a natural right. So he's going yeah. And you know who he's targeting. All right. So we gonna be getting to that very soon. But that time is coming, and that's when you're gonna know if you're gonna love Esau or not. But these devils, when we say Esau, you're gonna really see who the Lord said He hates, and you're gonna see why the Lord hates them. And then maybe we could sit down at the table and have another discussion and see how you feel about what you said during these times. All right.
That's it. Yeah, he said water into that. Like, damn, man. So I think y'all last right there.
Oh, I was gonna say, Lord, pursuant to Obadiah, the Lord wants to eradicate all of Edom. So, like, how are you sitting there saying you can't hate Esau, but the Lord wants to eradicate all of them? So you're pretty much going against what the Lord wants. You're going against His wishes, His will, really.
You can't beat them, join them, spirit, man. If you can't beat them, join them. That means that you're gonna accept the MOB. I mean, MOTB, man. You know, if that's the case, and that's what the Lord is against. Revelation, man. How you gonna think that that's the solution to join the forces that the Lord is coming back to eradicate?
And that's why the scripture says to study to show thyself approved. Because all you have to do, like Elder Apostle Tahar did a video about Deuteronomy 23:7. And when you look into it, Bor and Edomite, it clearly says that it really is supposed to be Assyrian or Aram. And then there's another scripture, if I may, real quick. In 2 Kings, right? It's the same clerical error, right?
Yeah.
It says it in the NLT. 2 Kings 16, right? That whole scripture is talking about Syrians, and then all of a sudden it starts talking about Esau. So Second Kings 16 and 6, it says, at that time, well, I'll read the 5th verse. The king Rezin of Aram and King Pekah of Israel came up to attack Jerusalem. They besieged Ahaz, but could not conquer him. Then in the 6th verse, it says, at that time, the king of Edom recovered the town of Eloth for Edom. He drove out the people of Judah and sent Edomites to live there as they do to this day. But when you look in the footnote, what does it say? King of Aram. So it's not supposed to be, it's not referring to Esau. So the same clerical error that you see there is sometimes it occurs in other times in the scriptures. But if you studied and you went into the meaning of words and the etymology, you'll be able to decipher that ain't what it's talking about, man. It ain't talking about an Edomite, it's talking about a descendant of Aram.
So they got the same. See, they've made quite a few errors with Aram and Edom, or Aram and Adawam, which even in the book of Second Samuel, as we were reading, when David was went about to conquer the neighboring nations, it talks about how he took down the Syrians, and then you got that. That's the one you had. Oh, it's the spirit. Bring it out.
This is 2 Samuel 8 and 13. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians.
You pull that up. Actually, what is that? Second Samuel what? 8 and 13. 8 and 13. Cross reference. Oh, okay. Do cross reference of that verse, and it should bring up Chronicles. Go ahead.
In the valley of Saul, being 18,000.
Read that again.
2 Samuel 8 and 13.
So mind you, at this point, David was taking over the neighboring nations, right? The Ammonites, the Moabites, the Syrians, all of them. Go on.
And David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians in the valley of Saul.
So the Syrians in the valley of Salt, go on.
Being 18,000 men.
And they said the valley of Salt is pretty much south, where the Dead Sea is at. Okay, go on. That was the verse. Okay.
And he put garrisons in Edom. Throughout all Edom put he garrisons, and all they of Edom became David's servants.
Okay. So now it talks about the Syrians in the valley of Salt. Then it jumps to talk about Edomites. So now let's do a cross reference. It should bring, I think, Chronicles, something. One of those Chronicles. Yeah, it's talking about Abishai. Okay, just read that and let's see what it says. Second Samuel what? 8 and 13. 8 and 13.
Second Chronicles 26 and 2. He built Elah and restored it to Judah. After that, the king slept with his father. I don't think that's good.
No, that's the one. Cross reference 8. You said what was that? 8 and what? Right. I know. Break that. And then also cross reference 8 and 14.
Second Samuel 8 and 14.
To bring this up. So read the KJV of that verse and then the NLT.
This is 2 Samuel chapter 8, verse 13. And David got him a name when he returned from smiting of the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. That's the NLT. So David became even more famous when he returned from destroying 18,000 Edomites in the valley of Salt.
See, so that's an error right there, where in that verse, instead of the Edomites, they put the word Syrians. Going to show you that the blue letter is not perfect. This is why you got to go and do research. This isn't the first time that they've made that error with the word Edomites and the word Syrians. Okay, so in that specific verse, it says Syrians, but we know the Syrians don't dwell around the Salt Sea. The Salt Valley is near the Dead Sea, which is south. The Syrians are all the way north, slightly east of Sidon, all the way north of Naphtali and all of them over there. The Dead Sea is south, at where Judah is, close to where the Edomites are at. Okay, so the correlation, there's no correlation there. And then the next verse talks about Edomites. Yep. Edomite. Yep. That's right.
Hey, real quick, I got the definition of Edom in the Bible dictionary. Again, to clear up all the confusion of who's as this and who's what. Let's see what the Lord has in store for Edomites. If you're an Edomite, this is what's coming for you. It's not from us. It's from the Heavenly Father through us. All right, you got to hear it. All right, it's already determined. This is the judgment. This is what you're gonna go through. It ain't about how you feel right now. It's just what the Lord has appointed. And was there before you Edomites became a thing. Okay, before Esau became a thing, this was already there, predetermined. All right, so let's read. From the Bible Compact Dictionary, it says, Edom figures prominently in the prophetic scriptures as a scene of great future judgments. And this is why the churches don't go into prophecy. Because if you go into prophecy, you have to address what's going to happen to the Edomites. Okay, where is their home base? America, Babylon the Great is their home base. Okay, just like back then they had Rome, now it's America, Babylon the Great, and we see it all every day. Okay, this place is structured to fit the image of Rome. Okay, so let's see. It says here, it says, see notably Isaiah 34 and 5 and 6, Isaiah 63 and 1. It says, she is the only neighbor of the Israelites, once again, of the Israelites, right? who was not given any promise of mercy from the Most High. You hear that? So all you niggas sitting around talking about you can't hate them and oh God loves. What about this? The scriptures clearly tell you, and the Bible dictionary also highlighted some of these precepts, but it's written out there straight up to your face. When Yahushua comes back, Isaiah 63, who is he that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah? Okay, what is that about? Okay, so Yahushua is coming back to destroy these Edomites. That's just what it is. That's part of his mission. Just like King David enslaved them back then, Yahushua is going to do it again this time around, man. And not you. You could go back in the history, the past century, or even the past couple of centuries. Look what these devils have done. Now these devils are to the point they've gotten so high up their Edomitish ways that these niggas think that they're the most high now. Look at the world in which we're going in. Look at the direction of the world. You mean to tell me that this is all going to go on hunky-dory like this every day? The Lord is coming back with judgment to get these people up out of there, man. They're horrible, horrible rulers. Look at the earth, the condition of the earth right now. You mean to tell me that there's no crimes against humanity? There's no crimes against the land, the earth, the animals. All right. So there's judgment that gotta come, man. You're destroying the Lord's creation. You talking about the 3D meat? You talking about genetically modified people? You talking about super robots and shit? What the fuck is going on? And you think the Lord's just gonna sit there and just let this happen? You niggas that keep talking good about Esau, man, you gonna be going down too, man. You gotta go. All right. You're part of the problem, and the Lord's gonna solve that problem very soon. All right, with some fire. That's what needs to come, and it's coming. You got it.
I believe you had a point, right?
So if we're not supposed to if we're supposed to love Esau, right? Why would the Lord have David kill and take over the Edomites?
Right.
And then after that, he preserved David wherever he went. If we're supposed to love Esau, the Lord wouldn't have had David do that.
And David was a man after the Most High's heart.
Yep.
So what's up with that? Oh, hold on. Whoa, wait. How? What the Lord told Samuel to do though? He told Samuel to go and slay them. He told him to slay. I don't want to see the damn cattle anyway. Slay all the asses. And then Saul ain't do it. He brought Agag back. What did Samuel do? Why didn't the Most High come? Whoa, hold on, calm down, brother. That's your brother. You're gonna need to love him. All right. If you don't do that, we're gonna have some issues. No, he ain't do that. So what's going on? First off, do you forget what Haman tried to do to our nation? This nigga Haman wanted to exterminate us. He wasn't just trying to come after Mordecai and Esther. He wanted to come after the whole nation of Jews, the whole Israelites at that time. So you're gonna know their history of doing all this. You forgot about Antiochus? The scripture said, "Love worketh no ill towards his neighbor." So we supposed to love our enemies in the truth, yeah, but these things ain't in the truth. Yep. But according to them, that's the Lord's hate. We can't hate the way the Lord hates. So we gotta let the Lord do the hating, but we gotta love him. So what does it mean by he that is not with me is against me?
But he made us in his image.
That's it. But he ain't make us in his exact image. So we gotta love him while he hates him. Let the Lord deal with that. You see how ridiculous they sound worse than the Christian church. And it's like worse and worse and worse. But that's okay. Matter of fact, no, that's great. That's great. Give him a round of applause. That's great. Because guess what? That makes our chances better. You know, that gives us a better chance. So keep on doing that. Matter of fact, come out with the next thing. Say that the Messiah is white. Say he's an Edomite. Say he got leprosy. Say all of those things. Because guess what? And that means that you are totally gone and we still on the right path. And we're going to pray to the Most High that he doesn't ever take his Holy Spirit away from us. Because we see clearly, you know, we see in 2020. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. How you don't see? Yeah. That's what you're not seeing. How you don't see?
I got the Wikipedia for Valley of Salt.
All right.
It says the Valley of Salt Pits, Valley of Salt Pits, or Vale of Salt Pits is a place where it is said David smote the Arameans. 2 Samuel 8:13. So even in the Wikipedia, they corrected it to show you it's talking about Aram.
Right.
And then when you look down, it says, hence some interpreters suggest the phrase, and he smote Edom instead of the Arameans in the above text. This confusion may be due to the Hebrew word Edom, Adawam, being similar to the word Aram, In Hebrew, the Ra and the Da are very similar and easily confused if not written carefully.
Ah, yeah, yeah. So there you go. But if you don't study, you don't go into these words, you're not gonna know that. You ain't gonna catch that. You're just gonna read through, and then you're gonna be through. So now let's go back to Psalm 91. Because you see, it's not gonna be every Israelite that gets to escape the snare of the fowler. Go on.
Psalm 91 and 7. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand.
So how's that gonna happen? When the Lord delivers up his elect, you're gonna see, you're gonna look down. Let's get real quick, Revelation 15 and 2. You're gonna look down through the sea of glass, which is the firmament, and you're gonna see the destruction going on. All right, go on.
But it shall not come nigh thee, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold,
Right. So only with thine eyes shall thou behold. Go on.
and see the reward of the wicked.
See the reward of the wicked. So you're gonna look down and you're gonna see the missiles, and it's gonna be burning up all these people. You ain't gonna be close to it, but you're gonna see it. You're gonna see where it used to be New York, where it used to, you're just gonna see fire. Like that Sharon made that song, I see fire.
Because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation.
So because you made the Lord your habitation, you're gonna be delivered. And only the elect are gonna do that. You're gonna be delivered and protected. So when the destruction comes, you ain't gonna be hit. Okay, you're gonna see it, and it's gonna be terrifying, but you're gonna thank the Lord at the same time, knowing, damn, I was this close. Like I can only imagine what it's like to be in that fire right about now. Go on.
There shall no evil befall thee.
And plus, remember that in the chariots, we're gonna have those new bodies. So you're gonna be able to hear, far distances. You're gonna be able to see further than your regular eyes can see. So you're gonna hear exactly what's going on down there. And them screams are gonna be loud as shit. I believe Haran had a dream that he said in his dream, all you could hear was the people burning in the fire, and he said it was the loud ass screams, like screams of agony that these people were in. Yeah. Go on.
Neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
Neither shall plague come nigh. So you're gonna be protected. Stop it. I don't know what happened. I think the connection dropped over there. But can you hear us?
Yeah, I could hear. It's a little faint. I don't know what happened, but I could hear.
All right. Let me see. Yeah. All right. We're still on here. All right. So let's keep going.
Psalm 91 and 12. They shall bear thee up in their hands, these thou dash thy foot against a stone.
Now, when you look up, when it says they shall bear thee up, when you look that up in the Hebrew, it means to lift up. It means to lift up. And when you look up the word hands, I looked in the blue letter. There's a certain when you look into the interlinear concordance, it talks about hands. I think it's kop in the Hebrew, but in the interlinear concordance, there's a section that says outline of biblical usages, and that tells you basically this Hebrew word, what is it translated as in throughout the whole Bible. So sometimes this word will be translated as hand, sometimes it'll be translated as palms, sometimes it will be translated as hollow, and it said there's one account where it's translated as clouds, and I think that's in the book of Job. So pretty much as it's saying there, which ultimately that's what it's talking about. He's going to give his angels charge over you, and they're going to bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Meaning them angels are going to protect you, but ultimately they're going to deliver you. They're going to beam you up so that you don't be a part of this destruction. Because when the missiles hit, and it says it feels like an earthquake, remember it's going to be hitting different parts of the world. You're going to have buildings falling down, crushing people. In Second Ezra, the 5th chapter, it talks about the blood with the wood, with the bricks making their voice and all that. That's going to be all the buildings falling into destruction. Okay, so the Lord is going to give them angels charge to watch over his elect and to beam you up, to deliver you, so you don't partake in this destruction. Go on.
Verse
That's
13.
what's that? Matthew the 24th chapter. Yahushua said he's going to send his angels with a
That's
great
it.
shout to go around the earth to deliver the elect.
Yep.
Yeah.
About 13 as well. Okay. Yep. 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 So that's what we're looking forward to. That's why we're not worried. We're not stressed. We just wait. That's all we got to do. We just got to wait patiently. Right? Yep.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And when you go into that word sign, it's also token, which is what? And if you go into like the definition of sign or token of the etymology, it also it has the word evidence. So when you see how shall appear, that's going to be the evidence that that's the Son of Man right there in the sky.
Right.
And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
Why are they going to mourn? Because at that time, everything is going to be gloomy. There's going to be chaos going on. And they're going to feel like just when they thought matters couldn't get any worse, now they got to deal with an alien invasion on top of the famine. Yeah, what's next? And then you just see a dark ass cloud. You look up and you see a big ass chariot with multiple other chariots flying all around. So they're going to mourn when they see that.
That was that. I think it was an Adidas commercial not too long ago. Remember back?
Yes.
The chariot,
Yes.
Leviathan,
Yes.
all out chaos.
Yeah.
And they already know. They already know what's coming, man. It might have been Nike or Adidas.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. Yep. So that's why they're going to be mourning. Because when they see that, instinctively, people are going to know that's not a good sign. At least not for the majority of people. They're going to have the feeling that whatever's up there, whatever just pulled up, is not here to be friendly. And they're going to be afraid. Go on.
And also, too, remember, Esau going to use the media and propaganda to make the people of the world think that, oh, this is some alien invasion that we need to come together and fight. And so the people who are not in the know, they're going to have that mindset. I mean, they live in a world, a godless world, and a godless lifestyles. When they see that the Lord is coming back, that's why it says in Revelation of 1 and 7 that all tribes will mourn upon his appearance, basically, right? That all eyes shall see him, even those that pierced him, and there's going to be people mourning and weeping and so on and so forth, is because they understand that this is the end for them. Okay, the Yahushua's return spells the doom and gloom of America, Babylon the Great, and those who are in it. Remember, when the besom of destruction picks up and the missiles and the fire is just blown right through the land, you, the person, you're like a minute part of the whole entire thing. You're just so small compared to this big ass land, and you just getting cooked right in it. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is coming to make war against America and its inhabitants. So of course they're gonna be waging war against him. That's why you have the Space Force, right? The sixth branch of the military. They're gonna be shooting straight up there, man. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna get cooked and come right back down here, right? They got something known as space strike, uh, space strike weapons. All right, they have that shit right now as we speak, which has been there going back to the Star Wars program back in the 70s and 80s, man. All right, so they've been preparing for the return of our Lord, just like how we've been preparing for the return of our Lord. Only difference is we get delivered and they get destroyed. That's it. All right, but you got it.
That's right. That's Revelation 12. You know, Revelation. Oh yes, yes. And did we finish on that?
Oh. I got verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
That's it. They're gonna gather them. They're gonna be delivered. That's what we're waiting for. Lord willing, we are part of that number. Now let's get that. What you got in
Revelation 15:2. And as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast
like
and over his image and over his mark
the MOTP, the implantable grain of rice. Go on.
and over the number of his name stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High.
That's what it's talking about in Psalms 91. About you only seeing the destruction of the wicked with thine eyes, and then none of the destruction touching you. So now let's go real quick to keep going in the book of Psalms 91. I'm gonna finish that.
Psalms 91 and 13. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder.
What?
The young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample on the feet.
So ultimately, who's the dragon? Esau. All right. Meaning, when the Lord brings that destruction, He's gonna put us up over them. Okay, because remember, that's the day that that's the day that the roles switch. Literally, that very day, they're gonna go from this to this, and we're gonna come with the chains. You know, throw it right on their neck, throw it on their hands, and start dragging them.
Right,
They're gonna go through the. What was that?
Yeah, that's why Yahushua said he saw Satan fall from heaven like lightning, and
Yep.
because that destruction. Because remember, all these other empires, for the most part, there was always a transition period, right? From the Romans to the Greeks was a transitional period, though it was short, but it was still a transitional period, right? All these different empires have all gone through some type of transition. This takeover is going to happen within 1 hour. That's a quick time from Esau being the ruler of the world and everything is in his name to now he's at the bottom and he's in chains and he's picking up scraps and about to change the whole world that he thought he was going to destroy, man. Now you about to work to refix everything that you fucked up on. You see, when you being brought up to charges, for example, you rent a house, right? And when your lease is up, what happens? You now the deposit that you put in, they got to go back to inspect the house, make sure everything is good, and then they'll give you a deposit if everything is good. But in this case, Esau destroyed the whole entire earth to the point where Yahushua is coming back and he's not even recognizing the house that this motherfucker took for rent. He's like, yo, the ocean is not supposed to look like that. The people are not supposed to be thinking and acting this way. The food isn't supposed to be like this. The water isn't supposed to be like this. The air isn't supposed to be like this. The ground isn't supposed to be like. What the hell is going on here? What did you do? You little motherfucker, you man. What the hell did you do? Right? And then the Lord's gonna be like, nah, you gotta go. There's no way you could pay back the destruction you've caused, except for you to be taken out. And then you're gonna be put in chains for 1,000 years. Now you gotta be in prison because you've committed all kinds of crimes. Okay, for 1,000 years, man. That's your sentence. All right, and then that's when you get your backs beat in. All right, if your back is already red, forget about it. Whatever color your back is going to turn after we're done with you, I don't even know. We're gonna have to come up with a different color now. All right, they're definitely not gonna be red. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna have different types of whips, chains, brakes, bats, pipes. We're
That's
coming
it.
in hot and we're ready to go,
I
man.
think
The Lord said we're gonna be what? We're gonna be the enforcers. Okay? Just like how you got your so-called stupid ass military people that go out there enforcing your whole ass laws. Well, we're gonna be enforcing righteous laws, and you already know how it's gonna go down.
Yep.
Jake always want to flex, so we're gonna have a good old time flexing with the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai and that crown on top of our heads, man. We're gonna be flexing. We definitely gonna be flexing. All right,
Mhm.
but you got it.
They'll come with spiritual hammers, scepters, truck tires, chains, exhaust pipes. And it's gonna be over, man. Yeah, like you were saying, guess like this dude. Imagine you put your house up for Airbnb, right? You got a little house in Cali or somewhere. Some mofo comes and rents the shit out. You come back, you catch this dude. He got construction workers over here. Half your house is broken down, and this thing is swinging a freaking what are them big ass black wrecking balls. He said, okay, right there through the living room, break that down. We're gonna resurrect this. So, nigga, you rented this shit for 3 weeks. I came back and you done destroyed half my house and you reconstructed. That's pretty much what Esau doing. He got the the orange construction worker hat. And he, okay, yep, all right. So put that one over here. This thing right here. You got it.
That's why I fixed up just to add on for Aharon, sir.
Yep.
Psalm 149 and 5. It says, let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And right now we're in a mourning state. We can't sing aloud. We're not happy. So the place where we're going to sing aloud upon our beds is in the kingdom. When we can get, because what does a bed represent? Rest. This place is not our rest. So the kingdom is going to be our rest. It says, verse 6, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouths, and a two-edged sword in their hands. So you go into all those things, but what? We're going to actually have a two-edged sword in our hand. For what? Verse 7, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. Verse 9, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all he his saints. Praise ye the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So that's going to happen in the kingdom. We're going to execute the judgment that is written upon Esau, Edom, and these other nations.
There's a whole lot of painful ones written in there, written on this side of the book and that side of the book. So that's gonna be some interesting stuff. And it doesn't go into detail as to what we're gonna do to you in the kingdom. So that's what they call that, creative license or whatever they call that. So that means we're gonna fill in the blanks, and you're gonna feel in the blanks. So let's go back to Psalms 91. Bad. See, that's the thing about these Edomites, right? These elites, they get mad, but in the back of their mind, there's a certain portion in their cerebral cortex that's very afraid, thinking, shit, man. I mean, they're talking like this, these damn peasants, but if they're correct, we're screwed beyond screwed. Imagine you a kid, right? You do something wrong, and you know your parents are gonna find out. You know your mom just gave you a tight slap. You saw the stars for a little bit, and then she said she gonna tell your father when he comes back. Go to your room until your father comes back. Oh my God, that period of time is the most tormentuous time for a little child, especially when you know what your father's about. So you see how fast your heart be beating. You can't even think about anything else because the second the thought comes to your mind, you hear the keys, you hear his voice, you want to jump into the ground. So that period where your heart is beating, you hear the footsteps. Doom, where he at? He did what? At that point, oh shit, looking like Mr. Krabs and shit. When your heart is beating fast like that, imagine how these devils feel. Because you expect the ass whooping, but they don't know what to expect. They're talking about, okay, it's one thing if these Jakes caught us. Look, if Israelites caught these Rothschilds mano a mano, they're so through. Freaking 3 Jakes in the hood could mess up these damn Rothschilds just hand to hand. But they're saying, no, you don't got to worry about just that. These people are going to be transformed into gods, and they're going to have you for 1,000 years. That means you're going to die and come back and die and come back. Or you might not die because they can resurrect you. Can you imagine the kind of fear and torment that puts them in? Knowing that the Most High is on our side? Like King David said, right? These heathens got so desperate, they even try to call on our God. Niggas said, they God, Mola, fuck that. Let me go to Yahweh. And they did beat me up. And nothing happened. And then David said, then I beat them.
Small stuff.
Hey, God, hey, and you know what makes things even worse too, is when you have not naturally, when somebody's on the run, right? The most scariest thing is for them to be identified. Number one, when you're on the run, you change your identity. That's what Esau's done, right? And not only did he change the identity, he stole the identity of the precious, prestigious ones on the earth, the Israelites, right?
Yep.
He took, and he even go for any other tribe. He went for the head tribe. They get proud as fuck. All right. Number two, when
Should have
you're
gone for
hiding,
Issachar.
what's that?
I said he should have at least gone for Issachar.
Yeah, go for Issachar or not even that. That's still too much because he's still tainting us, right? But these devils, bro, you should call yourself, Japheth or Ham or some shit. You don't want to do that. You don't want to be an African. You don't want to be known as a. You don't want that. You want to be called as an Israelite, and you ruin that by calling yourself an Israeli. You niggas is true. You're just through. But what they do is, whenever somebody's on the run and they hide, the first thing is please nobody identify me. If somebody passes by and be like, oh, is that the man that weakened the nations? Oh, hey, chill out. You're gonna still keep running, right? Because oh shit, they identify me here, he's out of there, right? So that's one thing. That's why they push for this whole anti-Semitism, because that's their way of blocking anybody who can identify them and say, hey, that's them. They'd be like, no, that's not us. You're that's hate speech. You do that, that's hate speech. That's not gonna work, nigga. And then that's why it tells you in the book of, I believe the book of Amos, where it talks about how they're gonna be hiding underneath the rocks, and they'll say that basically the rocks should shield them from the wrath of the Lamb, right? And I believe
Revelation
it's
6.
also in the book of Revelation. What's that?
No, I think that's Revelation 6.
Revelation, exactly, right, right. So that's all them what doing what? That's proving the point that yes, you are indeed an imposter. All right, you know that you've committed evils and you're on the run to escape the judgment. So once you're found, that's the worst. That's the worst feeling, because now you got nowhere else to go. You were running for all these years. You change your identity over a few hundred years. You become something else, right? You go from Europeans to white to Anglo this to this. You take everyone's identity to hide yourselves from being the Edomites that you really are. And then when you're being seen, what's going to happen when your Yahushua comes back? What are you going to do? You're going to try to fight against him, right? It tells you that in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and Revelation, the 12th chapter. You're going to want to wage war against him, and you're going to get cooked. And then when the men come down to come pick your ass up, you're going to be hiding, trying to be in defense bunkers, underground bunkers, and all that. Why do you have the need to do all that? If everything is all cool and everything is good, why are you running away? Why are you people the only people on the face of the earth who have underground bunkers, man? You don't see the Africans doing that. They're out there defending their land from you niggas, man. All right? So, Esau, what's up, man? What's going on? You've been found out. Like the scriptures tell you, you've been weighed in the balance and you've been found wanting, man. It's a wrap for you niggas. It's a wrap. It's over now. Like the brother, going back to the point that the brother was making, that you in a position right now that you can see your power slipping through your grasp. You see, you're listening and seeing people who are supposed to be under your captivity, and they're talking so bold in the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and talking about the prophecies that you niggas are very aware of. You're very, very aware of this, and that's why you're preparing like this. All right? Because if we didn't know that the Lord is going to be coming back soon, we would not be preparing the way we're preparing, right? If you devils didn't know that the Lord is actually going to come back and wage war against you niggas, you will not have space strike weapons out in space. For what? For what? What, you going to fight China in space? Nigga, China's down here. Okay? You going to fight North Korea? They're right here too. All right. So what's the emphasis? What's the desire to have space strike weapons out in space, man? Space Force out there. Who you going to be fighting? Huh? You gonna be fighting some aliens from outer space someplace? Nah, bro. You know exactly what's going on, and we know exactly what's going on. The rest of the world who don't know what's going on, they're gonna get cooked up too. But you niggas are the main problem. All right. The whole the whole earth is in disarray, is in chaos. All right. People are mourning. Lately, you watch videos. Everybody's crying. Everybody's complaining about the ungodly father, which is Esau Edom, man. All right. Rent is going higher, higher. Food prices are out the roof. Right. Gas is going up. Everyone is unhappy, right? And you keep working 24/7. Somebody said they were making $35 an hour and they still can't make ends meet. How the fuck is that even possible? Okay? And so Esau, man, you got a lot to pay for. And guess what? The rest of the nations, they're not gonna come to your defense. They're not gonna come to your defense. When they see the Lord flex his power, very soon they're gonna be like, all right, listen. So when do we become your slaves so we can enslave them too? All right, that's what they're gonna be saying. They're gonna be on our side. All these other nations gonna be on the side of the Israelites, man, because that's where the power is gonna be at. All right, and you devils are done. You're finished. You're through. It's over with, man. All right, it's just a matter of time, and we're gonna see your downfall, man. You're done. All right, you got it.
That's it. Let's finish on there.
Psalms 91 and 14. Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him.
Yeah, so and that's the elect, right? We set our love upon Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai by what is the love of the Most High? Keeping his commandments, doing the will of the Lord, meditating upon the Lord, right? Having your mind occupied in prophecy, caring about the things that the Most High wills. What does the Most High want me to do? That's my top priority. You set your love on the Lord. Because of that, what does it say?
Because he has set his love upon me, therefore will I deliver him.
Right. So just like Revelation 3 and 10, since you've kept the word of the Lord's patience, he's going to deliver you from the hour of temptation. So you set your love upon the Lord, he's going to deliver you. Now, to deliberately teach false information and then spread that to scatter the Lord's sheep, that's not love of the Lord. And that's going to incur the Lord's wrath. So when the time comes, he's going to deliver his elect and he's going to bring destruction upon you. Destruction is not a light thing. And that's why we always stress it, because there are always things that you see that when they actually manifest in the real life, when they get fulfilled, it's a whole different story. When you look at the Pan-D, the Lord prophesied about, you know, pestilences and so on and so forth, right? But the Pan-D itself was not something highlighted in the scriptures as like the MOTV. And yet, look at how much of a big deal it was. How they shut down everything. Everybody was like, oh shit, what's going on? So how much more for a prophecy that's actually highlighted in the scriptures over and over again? Like, it's a big emphasis in the scriptures. Boom. When people think of the book of Revelation, the number one thing they think about is the MOTV. So how big of an event do you think that's going to be on a world scale? So that's why we tell you, man, when we speak about it, it's one thing, but when it manifests, it's a complete other thing. When we say the Most High is going to destroy you, it's one thing, but when you actually see somebody getting destroyed by the Most High, that's a complete other thing. When the Israelites saw the plagues the Lord brought in the camp, when he sent them serpents to bite them Israelites, when he opened up the ground and swallowed Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, that wasn't a light thing. So it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to see it.
Using Jeremiah, for example, that's the whole purpose of the book of Lamentations. When he saw the destruction that the Lord brought upon Israel, he was lamenting over it and things like that. So it's like, it was one thing, like he was prophesying, telling them, look, the Lord's going to bring the Babylonians. Y'all better chill out. It's going to be a bad time. They didn't listen. Jeremiah experiences when the Babylonians came and was destroying Israel and killing them. The ones that didn't listen, because the Lord gave that message to Jeremiah, look, just bow down to the king of Babylon and you're going to be all right. If you don't bow down, you're going to get destroyed. For those that didn't want to listen, that's what one of the things that the book of Lamentation is about. Jeremiah seeing the destruction of his people, and he was lamenting over it. Even though he told his own people, you're going to be destroyed, he was still lamenting over it. Right. Like you were saying, to see it is a different experience. It's like being in like, if you played sports, it's one thing to see people like run track or see people play basketball or see people play football. You may think, oh, I could do that. But then when you actually out there, it's a whole different thing. It's like, oh shit, the feeling, the atmosphere, everything is a lot different. Everything hits you all at once.
Even the perspective is different.
Right, because you're no longer outside, you're in it now. So it's like, oh shit, like this guy's looking at me like here, like, I'm gonna fix your bitch ass right now. It's like, it's a lot different than you just seeing, like you're saying, the outside.
Yeah, because when you watch it on TV, you can see, like, for example, we can see the whole thing at once. You can see everybody where they at. So it's easy to say, oh, why you ain't just cut right or cut left? When you actually on the field, if you're playing football, and you see two big ass, oh, this thing look bigger than he did on TV. You know what I'm saying? The ground shaking. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, hold on. Hey, you take the ball, man. You pass you go and hand him the ball and shit. You know? So it's a different perspective. Even you may run the first play, and you feel gassed, you feel winded. You like, yo, and you're like, damn, these guys do this for however long this game is. They look at you. Yeah, on TV that should look like. But in real life, you're like, all right, I'm. There's more factors that the TV doesn't show you, like how you actually feel in these situations.
Same thing with
You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say same thing with like mixed martial arts. You go in the comments, everybody talks shit. Well, he didn't win that fight. Yeah. He only took him down. You know how hard it is to take somebody down? Like, and these guys are like world-class fighters, but everybody in the comments act like, well, I would have did that. You people are armchair commentators, man. You know, you ain't in the field. Just like how, you know, these people that get on the comments try to tell us how to do what we supposed to do. Right. But you ain't out here dealing with the elements week in, week out, in season, out of season. It's all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahshua. He's the one that has us in the spirit to do this, but don't come on the comments, trying to critique what we do, but when you ain't even doing shit.
Yep. Yeah, see, for example, when you're watching a boxing match, right? You see somebody, he counters and then poof, then the guy just boom, then he comes back again, right? Watch that same punch again in slow motion. You're gonna see the power in that. When they slow it down, that quick hit, you can see the boom, you can see the whole eye movement, the cheek movement. You like, oh shit, damn, I don't know about that. It looked like a little tap. Like you look at some of Mayweather's punches, you look like, damn, this dude went down over a little tap. No, bro, that was not a little tap. If you slow it down and you look at the force, you like, yo, these guys are tough, man. So once again, it's always different when you're actually in it versus when you read about it or hear about it or even see it. Because your imagination doesn't capture the feeling. It captures the visuals and so on and so forth, but it doesn't capture all of those things. See, here's one example, right? You think of, oh, all hell's gonna break loose. I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here. What happens if all hell breaks loose within the first 5 minutes? You got to cut or you break your arm. That ruins your whole entire game plan. You never accounted for that. You get a cut, and that cut gets infected over the next 2-3 days. Now the whole I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be over here. That's all out the window. You didn't account for getting cut, and now you're feeling the pain. You're feeling lightheaded. You can barely move. Maybe the crew that you with says, "Yo, you dead weight now," and they just leave you, and they keep going. See, that's the real aspect that you're like, "Yo, I didn't plan for this in my imagination because I was imagining the happy path. In the happy path, I find a secret spot. Yo, come with me. I got like 10 different women with me, and now I'm fighting everybody off. And the second it hit, I got spiritual power like Shazam. And then reality hit, ain't no women next to you. A female troop just gun butted your ass, and now you in the back of a van handcuffed somewhere."
Mike Tyson said, everybody has a game plan until you get punched in the face.
Yep. And then that shit goes out the window.
Exactly.
Get amnesia real quick. And getting punched in the face is not an easy thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say when they see these punches go out, people only look at the hand hitting the face. They're not looking at the hips, the feet, the footwork, the way that he had to like position himself to get there. And that's like us. They see us out here, but they don't realize we on the foundational stone. That's Yahweh shot. He's the one that's giving us the strength in our legs to throw these spiritual jabs and hooks and crosses, man. You know?
What? All right, so let's finish that in Psalms 91.
Psalms 94 and 14.
91.
Oh, Psalms 91 and 14. I will set him on high because he have known my name.
So the Lord's going to deliver us. No one will be of the elect, and he's going to set us on high. Okay, the highest that any man has really ever reached. Because we're going to be under Yahweh shot. And it doesn't get higher than that. Go on.
He shall call upon me, and I will answer him.
Yeah. And that's going to be wherever and whenever. And that's heavy because in all the different societies, people come up and they always look at others in history and they try to surpass them. Those that are ambitious, that is. You know, they'll say, oh, this guy had such and such provinces or he conquered this many lands. I'm going to be the king of kings. I'm going to triumph what this guy did. Like even in basketball, you find out somebody scored 50 points in the game. You want to be the one who scored the most points. You want to score 65. That's going to be impossible for anybody to try and score more than us when Yahweh Shai comes back and delivers us. It's going to be impossible for anybody to get higher than the position that the Lord is going to change us and put us in.
Hey, even when you look at the carnal records right now, look at like you look at the NBA for example, right? When you look at the scoring record and all that, who's at the top? It's Jake. Jake at the top. And this is just carnality. This is all going to be cooked anyway. But you're never going to have an Edomite in this lifetime. No Edomite is going to be on the NBA's top scoring list ever. It's never going to happen. All right? When you look at all these great baseball, Barry Bonds, all these different people, guess what? Their names are etched in history. Part of the history that's going to be destroyed on this side. But guess what? Even to show you, even at our lowest point, you had those who are at the bottom of society rule in every single category there is, right? So again, music is going to go down. Michael Jackson, when you think of history, America's culture and America's history is always going to be Jake who runs shit, you see? And it's going to transition like that, but this time it's going to be in righteousness, all right? Not Esau's rulership, it's going to be Jake rulership at the top of the top. You know what I'm saying? So it's a transition from here all the way there, man. And it's going to be like that forever. So Esau, you done. You're finished. And that's the theme, bitch.
Big and living life. God.
I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him.
Yeah, he's going to be with us in trouble. So we ain't got nothing to worry about. We know that, hey, you look at the whole situation that just happened with Mr. Polite. Well, he ain't feeling too polite now. But guess what? The Lord justified us, starting with the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down. So that's just another example. Go on, he said, I will deliver him in trouble.
And honor him with long life.
Imagine that. You're going to be honored by, oh, what? You're going to be honored by the Creator? By Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai to honor you? You're his creation. And he says, I'm going to honor him with what?
With long life will I satisfy him.
With long life will I satisfy him. And that's going to be ultimately immortality. Because if the Most High calls something long, you best believe that shit is long. Go on.
and show him my salvation.
That's gonna be when Yahushua comes back. He delivers the elect, and that's gonna be the beginning. Remember, that's gonna be the beginning of the salvation. We're gonna be delivered from the missiles, but guess what? Salvation also entails being delivered from sin, being delivered from death, being delivered from this oppression, all of it. So it's gonna start with the immediate impending danger, but that's the beginning of our salvation. That was it on that? Yes, sir?
For the Hebrew word for honor.
Yeah, you can bring that, and then.
So the Hebrew word for honor is kabod, and some of the definitions says to be weighty. It says, I'm gonna just read through some of them that obviously make sense. It says, be rich, be honorable, be glorious. One of them says, enjoy honor, be made abundant. To get oneself glory or honor, gain glory.
The Lord is gonna give us glory. He's gonna glorify us. Put it like that.
Says make oneself numerous, and that I'm thinking when I said that, I think Isaiah 60. I think it's like the last two verses, where the Lord make a small nation, one man will become a great nation. That's about it. Oh, also says here, the Strong's definition says boast, glorify. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it. That's it. All right, you got it. Then we'll close it out on that.
When it says, I will deliver him.
Psalm 91.
Yeah, Psalm 91, verse 15. I will deliver him and honor him. The precept with that is
Speak up just a little bit so they can hear you.
this is James chapter 1, verse 12, where it says, blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him.
Right.
That's delivering us and giving us the crown of life. Of life.
And that's what we're doing all this for. So, Lord willing, it's worthy unto the Lord. You know, and He counts us worthy enough to receive that. All right, Aaron, you got anything?
Yeah, I got this last precept we can close it out on real quick. All right, this is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 3 and verse 8. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them mine indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. All right. So that's what we got to wait for, man. It's a mandate, it's an order. Wait ye upon me. All right. Until Yahushua makes that return, we all got to wait. Just like the angels in the heavens are waiting. All right. Yahushua is waiting for the Lord to give him that go ahead. We also waiting for that go ahead. All right. So we all got to be patient. Fuck out of here with all that HDU shit, Hebrew Defense Unit bullshit. That's all going to be cooked very soon. Just like all the past times where niggas all wanted to come together and go against the way of the Lord to establish their own righteousness, what happens? The Lord makes an example out of them, and they're going to be tragic. All right, so we're going to watch, and just like the Lord said, the scriptures also say that what? We're going to be laughing at their calamity, man. So we're going to see these things, and the Lord's going to make sure that He makes a joke out of you clowns, man, 'cause that's what you are. All right, nothing but jokes and clowns, man. That's it. All right, but you got it from here. Shalom.
Right. Yep. So, hey, with that, we're going to end it here. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect and pleasing to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. In closing, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Ruach Kodash. Till next time, Shalom.
Hey, shalom to the elect. Shalom. Yabba Shemel Shabrakatham. Shalom.